Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for allowing us to connect today. We ask that you guide us as we continue learning and growing. Give us the understanding, the knowledge, the motivation that we need as we do so. And we also pray for good, stable, physical, spiritual, financial, and emotional health for all of my students, all of my mentees, their family members. Continue to open doors this year and help us continue to believe in you and believe in ourselves. And we ask all of this in your name. Amen. All right, so we're gonna go to the writing board here. Then we'll discuss the infrastructure that we have to build. You know, the one thing that I avoid doing is to always, I don't want to dump on you a lot of information, but what I want you to, I just want you to do the hands-on, because when you look at the hands-on, I'll share my screen here quick. I'll share my screen. Let's go to entire screen. I'll go there. I'll make that. So we're gonna look at this one here, the AIOps, Prometheus and Grafana. So when you go here, you're gonna see that it's everything is here, and I'm gonna add it to the collection because this is private. So everything is here. So you just read, and today you read this, the README file, to get a sense of what's going on here. Every skill that you acquire is something that you've gifted yourself via learning, knowledge, hands-on projects, and so on, to resolve a specific problem. So look at every skill that you have as a technical way to resolve a specific problem. So what you learn here on this specific repository, it's gonna give you the skills to resolve specific problems. And here's the problem that we have. A lot of traditional IT operations, people, they get buried under what we call alert noise. So meaning that there's so much information coming in. And then when time comes to resolve or resolve a situation or an incident, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to look for. They don't know where to find what they need to find. And that's what we call alert noise. So it's too much information coming in, even unnecessary information. Modern companies, what they want is to eliminate the noises. So always remember that as an engineer, an architect, a solutions architect, you want to eliminate the unnecessary noises. So if everything that is a noise, you have to eliminate it. So you set up an infrastructure that will resolve this problem, the alert noise. In your interview, when it comes to monitoring and observability, bring this up, alert noise. When I build my infrastructure platform, I make sure that teams will not be buried under alert noise. And they're going to ask you, okay, so how do you do it? And that's what we'll learn today, right? That's what we're going to learn today. here, see, when a system fails, hundreds of individual alerts fire at once. You need to resolve this. And therefore, it makes it very impossible to identify the root cause. As a result, the downtime takes so long. It can take about a day or two. And every time you have a downtime in production, it affects your customers. And customers are not happy, your business is affected. When your business is affected, your manager is not happy with you. And when your manager is not happy with you, you get fired. So that's the reality of life. And this is what we call reactive approach. And we have to avoid this. So number one, alert noise, and then reactive approach. I build infrastructure that addresses and resolves these two things here. So the reactive approach, what it does, it leads to long downtime, high stress, because even the manager is wondering, okay, so what are we trying to do here? And you may be in a lock room, it's an emergency call, you have your manager, and you have probably the product manager. The product manager, that's somebody who interfaces with the customer. Okay, so they're kind of like in the middleman between the company and the customer. So they've received feedback, and now they reach out to you or your team saying that there's something going on. And then you go to your Prometheus or Grafana, and we'll talk about that in a moment, and you look at the dashboard, there's so much going on. And then the manager is also notified. The manager says, okay, Nike, we get together, let's see what's going on, share the logs with me. And then you look at the logs, it's like 100,000 logs that you have to go through. And the application is down. 5.6 million users have been affected. So that's 5.6 million times even $7 a month, because they subscribe to this to gain access to this application by paying $7.99 a month. So that's 7.9 times 5 million users. How much money you lose in a month? And nobody will be happy. And then this infrastructure resolves that situation. So no more high stress, no more firefighting. Firefighting it's a phrase to say you only fight when there is fire. So when there's fire, and then you show up. When there's no fire, you don't show up. All right? That's you don't want to do that. What you're going to learn today and the next 2 weeks is to set up an infrastructure like what we've done with ECS. Then you add this component to your ECS infrastructure, making sure that your application will always be up and running 24/7. And this will help you do that. There's a component that's missing here, and then which I'll teach later, probably in a pre-recorded video. That would be adding LSTM. These are models that you can use to train your agent, AI agent, to predict and make sure that based on the behavior of your application or infrastructure, before an incident happens, your team will be notified. So that's That's the magic of AI. All right, so the solution to this problem here, this is the wall of red, is to set up an intelligent observability infrastructure. And this is what the project is all about. So what we want to do is to eliminate noise and predict failures. Very important. So we want to eliminate noise and predict failures. And how do we do that? We combine automated metrics collection with intelligent alert routing, as well as we're going to have simulation scripts, meaning that this is not like a real infrastructure in a world case scenario. So we're going to simulate like an incident so that we can trigger the alerting as well as the predictive features of our infrastructure here. Any questions so far? All right, well, moving on. When you look at this infrastructure, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna first take this and I'm gonna add it to your collection. So we will, I'll go to the terminal here. I'm gonna do that should be good there. So I'm gonna clone this first and then check it should be AI, this one here. So I'll clear my screen, then I go back to here because I want to move it to the collections. And what I want you guys to begin doing, and some of you have started working on that, build your portfolio. Build your portfolio. I think I told you this. There was a company that reached out to me. It's a fintech of it's finance and tech, so like a bank or investment management bank or organization or company. So what I usually do, and then I'll show you how to do this. It's when somebody reaches out to you and they send you a JD, job description, make sure that I'm going to teach you how to create a project based on that. So you can create a project and come up with a demo. And when you meet with this team, like what I did not long ago, so I created this very fast, and it was like last month. And looking at the technical needs, they wanted to, the technical requirements or needs. So this is the role here. So I created this living portfolio to show them that I can help you. So I did it like over the weekend, and I tested it. It's working. And so what I did when I met with the director of the technology department, it's a lady, I told her, I said, would you be okay when she asked me, tell me about yourself, what you've done and so on. So what I did, it wasn't just saying stuff. I said, well, would you be okay if I share something with you? So I went to, I shared my screen, and then these are the domains of this infrastructure. I showed her this project structure based on their technical requirements. And then you probably may say, well, you know stuff. I mean, you guys are blessed. When I started this journey, and then Villeneuve can also testify to that. There was no AI. When I joined the IT technology for the first time, it was in 2003. I was on staff, and then and then in the US in Chicago, 2005, I was on staff on IT staff at that specific school or university, and there was no AI. I mean, you couldn't do this like overnight, but now you can. So you guys should feel blessed. And that's why speed matters now. Because what you choose not to do today, somebody else is going to do it. And because they have done it, they're going to get your job. The job that was supposed to be your job is going to somebody else. So speed is very, very important. We have to go fast and faster than ever. So this is just an example. I just wanted to show you, and then I will explain this towards the end of this month, how you can build something like this in the less than 2 hours. But the testing and the validation of this infrastructure, that's what will take you probably a week, because you have to test your scripts, you have to test everything. So AI speeds up the process of gathering information. So because in 7 years ago, you had to go to the library, or 15 years ago, you had to go to the library. And then 10 years ago, you had to go to Google, right? But now you just go to AI and say, ChatGPT, give me this is the information that I need. But you need to know how to design your own prompt so that ChatGPT can give you the specific information that you need. Because otherwise, ChatGPT will never know what you expect from it. So you have to teach and train your AI agent. And we'll talk about that later. So this is just an example. I'm going to go back to an example of how you're going to need to address things. And then later on, this company, they wanted me to come up with a project. And so this is what I designed for them and for them to evaluate. And this has been tested, because if you go like here, so you're going to see it's something like what I'm going to teach you using what we're doing now. So this is kind of like the architecture. It's like how banks operate. They use a lot of APIs, and so that I use Terraform to provision the infrastructure. And in this case, we're just using EC2 for them, because I wanted something very quick and fast. And then these are screenshots of me validating the project. And then this is how I initialize the service. I use Docker Compose, and that's what we'll be using in this project. And these are the containers that I provisioned on my EC2 instance. And now on your local machine, you can begin injecting or posting or uploading files. So that this is how you do it. SFTP. That's does anybody know what this stands for? The Secure File Transport Protocol. So if you let's say you wanna upload a file on a remote system, so this is what you can use. You can use SFTP. Okay, so you do that, and then you define the port, and I'm gonna use this one here. But you're gonna make sure that your EC2 instance, this port is already opened. And on an EC2 instance, how do you open a port? What do you use to open a port on an EC2 instance? Don't look away. Because in psychology, if somebody looks away, it means that they're avoiding something. All right. So, all right.
Let me try.
Please.
So I may not be right. I'm just thinking from when you're creating an instance and when you're defining the network section, you would specify the ports that you want end users to be uh, given access to access the application using that port. So when you specify the port, then that means it's either enabled or not enabled.
So how do you do that? How do you do what you just said? What do you use to do that? Every time you talk about port and you what comes to mind is what do you want to allow into your system, right? In and out. So you're talking about security. So when you talk about security, what do you see here? Oh, sorry.
The different security rules. My God.
So security, you're talking about IAM. What is IAM? What does IAM stand for?
Identity access management.
Yeah, identity access management. Well done. And then, so here every time you talk about security on an EC2 instance, so think of IAM and then think of security groups. Security groups, that's firewall that we have on our computers. So on an EC2 instance, you have security groups. When you click on that security groups, then you are able to allow inbound traffic. Inbound, that's incoming traffic. Outbound, outgoing traffic. So what you do here, you're gonna like, let's say we want to, this is the 2222. So you're gonna have to define the port range, you define the protocol, you have TCP or UDP, but in most cases we use TCP. And then you're gonna say, okay, the type, it's gonna be a custom because you have the option of choosing HTTP or SSH, secure shell, or HTTPS. When you do HTTPS, you're gonna have to make sure you attach a certificate because that's a secure HTTP type of traffic. So you give it a name and then so on. So what I want you to do is, because I don't want to go in depth with some of this stuff because you can read it. I just want to focus on the high level type of concept. So we'll go back here, and this is how you do it when you use SFTP. This will allow you to get in, and that's what I shared with the company. And then I put this is a file that I created on my local machine, and then I put it in this folder. So now I added some security using what they call Kong. It's an open source. So I created a very cheap, cost efficient, secure infrastructure here. And they were happy. So now, when this is just a screenshot of what I did. and then this is what you guys will be doing. So you don't need 200 repositories, or I have a lot of repositories because I always try something new. And you as a student, at least have 5 or even 10 repositories on your GitHub account, but high quality. High quality means that you have what I have here. So you see, you have your CI/CD pipeline here, and you have docs. And the docs, you have different files explaining the infrastructure that you have built. And then you have your infrastructure like backend infra. And this is, it's something that I added, I recommended to this company, saying, what I've shown you is phase number 1. But the phase number 2, look at these tools here. You see ECS, you guys have been learning, right? EKS, this is what the companies use. And in this specific situation, it's a company that manages over 50 billion US dollars in assets management. So see, these are the 2 things that I recommended to them as a consultant, saying you can begin with phase number 1. This is what I've shown you. This is what I've done. But I can help you move to one of these 2 here. Number ECS or EKS. ECS, that's for if you want something fast. But if you want something more stable, standardized, and open to scale up, then you need to use EKS. So that this is something that I want you to begin, when you look at something like this, say, I want to copy. When you see somebody do something with excellence, first you copy, and then try it again, then create your own. So that's why we have bachelor's degree. When you reach the master's degree level, they give you a little bit more independence. For bachelor's, they say, do as I tell you. Masters, then they say, you can try something different. And then PhD, you are the expert. So like in my PhD with computer science, I'm building my own stuff. Everything I teach you, it's pretty much part of my dissertation, because I'm already working on that. Any questions? So this is just an example of how you guys will be approaching interviews. How you prepare for your interview is to just look at your portfolio. This is your portfolio here. I'm gonna copy this because I wanna. You see that a lot of things are private because they're just mine, and I practice. I don't want to show them to people. So this, we're gonna go back now to, and what I'm trying to do here is I wanna move this here to the collection here. How do I do that? What commands do I use here? There should be 2 commands.
The copy command and move command?
Yep, so you can copy or move. So I'll just move. So I'm gonna move this here to the Express there. Then I go to Express. Now I'm gonna add everything. In this case, you could just say git add and then the name of what you added, like this here. So you could also do the same thing. Okay. When you do git add and then space dot, what does this command do? What does it mean?
Adding it at that location.
Okay. So what's the difference between this and that?
I think the first one stages the process, and then the second one just stages that specific directory.
Okay. So the first one here, every time you see the dot, it's here. Okay. So we're gonna stage everything in here. Okay. But here, the second command is to say we only do this here. Only that file. So you see, changes to be committed, the new file here. And then I'm gonna commit it like this, added this file. So good, it's a best practice is that to always add a command, a note or a message. -m means a message. To every time you want to push something, make sure that the next team member will understand what you just did. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then you can either sometimes you just do push, and I think that should work too. So you can do push, or you can do the push origin, and then you specify the branch. Main is the main branch. You in production, never use main. Always use a feature branch. So we're gonna do that, and here you see everything is up to date. So when we go here, we refresh this, you're gonna see there's the AI here. I'm gonna click here. So let me have somebody, because sometimes you may have this this issue here. So can somebody clone this and then see if you can get access to this folder? So just clone this. You can clone it, or you can just go here. And the reason why I want you to clone is to avoid using the GUI, because when you start working, you'll be using a command line in most cases. So I'm gonna try to open this and see here. You see it's empty. And sometimes, in the past I've had some issues like that. So it adds it as a subfolder. You see the difference between this one here and that one. You see, this one has an arrow, and doesn't have to be this one here. It doesn't have to be like this. It has to be like this. All right, so I'm gonna work on that later. But for now, let's go back to the original repository. So for something like this, what you need to create, you're gonna need to have an AI models domain. You have an AIOps service. The domain, the models here, it's more for predictions. Okay, this is for like recommending how you could remediate your incidents and so on. This is for alerts, and this is our application that we have. And remember, this is our Express web app, right? The same application. You have a docs folder, then you have Grafana, Prometheus, and then we have scripts. For the infrastructure, we use Docker Compose. What does that mean? When you go in here, you're gonna see we have the different containers that we want to spin up. So the Docker Compose, it's a file that will that you're gonna use to define the different containers that you want to spin up or provision as part of your infrastructure. We have first our application, and this application will access our application on this port here. When you see 3000 and then column and 3000, it means that you open the ports on the container and also on the infrastructure. So allowing, because it doesn't have to be the same. It could be, this could be 3032. You allow people to access, so you open your, because the application has been containerized. So on your container, and then outside your container, your application listens on port number 3000, and then you access your application on port 3000. Does that make sense? So you listen and then access the traffic coming from the outside world. You define your environment here, and then the second, this is for the application here. So what it does, let me ask you this, because what I want you to do is, you don't need to memorize stuff. Okay, I don't want you to memorize script. You go through an interview, somebody asks you to write scripts. You don't need, in this AI age, you don't need to memorize. You need to understand the concepts behind every infrastructure that you design and build. So like this script, you don't need to memorize it. You show it to your interviewer, and then you explain it to them. All right. Like, what is Docker file, a Docker Compose YAML file? What does it do? This is what it does. It helps you create services that are part of your infrastructure. And these services will be containers. Container number 1, your application. Container number 2, Prometheus. Container number 3, Alert Manager. Container number 4, Grafana. And then you have the C Advisor here, another container. And then you have the Forecaster container. That's it. And then after creating your container, then you define networks. So you don't need to memorize anything here. What you need to know is what a Docker Compose YAML file does. And that's what I just explained to you. So it's like the blueprint that you use to architect your infrastructure. That's it. And now, let me ask you this. Can somebody explain me what this block stands for, or what it's gonna do? And what it's gonna do, don't imagine or create, just look at the screen, read, and then explain. Just give me a guess. So every answer is correct. Just go ahead.
Trying.
Yep.
Say it will build the app and application and then containerize it using Docker, and then the access point will be like will be the port 3000, and then and it will be for monitoring, as I see on the network.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So, what I understand, just that very first service, it will build an app using containerized image of Docker using the Docker file, and it will store that image in a container demo dash app, and that application will be accessed through, or it will listen through the port 3000 and access through the port 3000. And it is in the production environment. And the last part, I'm not sure. Well, monitoring.
Okay.
But
Anybody
that's what I
else?
understand.
That's good. Anybody else? Well, what I'm trying to teach you is every time you look at a script, even talk to yourself, like what Villeneuve and Edmund have done. Just talk, read this, try to make yourself understand. Because this is a good way to practice how you're gonna explain this infrastructure to your interviewers. So don't you go in, be able to explain this file here and every section of the every block here. So like for the app, because we are building this app off of the Docker file that we have already written, and the Docker file will take the image, of course, the base image from some other place. But you see, like Prometheus here, we have to define where we're taking the image from. Because when you want to build a container, you start with a base image. It's like a computer, yeah, like an operating system. But for containers, we use a base image. We call it base image, and it should be a very simple image. And then on top of that image, that's where you build the different layers. These are layers that you add to your image. So like container name, you define the volumes, and then you define the commands, ports, and then dependencies here. Okay, so that's and the networking. This is like a namespace. A namespace, it's a logical way of isolating one application from the rest of the applications in the environment. So you isolate by using namespaces, and in this case, we're saying monitoring. And the same here, we're gonna put it under monitoring for networks. And alert manager is pretty much the same thing. For the app, we didn't use image because that image is defined as part of the Docker file. You remember project number one? So that's why we did it a little bit differently compared to the rest of the file here. So it's the same thing for Prometheus, Alert Manager, and here we have like an entry point. Then we have commands. So it depends on what you're dealing with. And I don't want you to memorize on any of these things, but I want you to understand the script. And the other thing that you can do is you take this and apply this into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. Say, explain this file to me. Then it's gonna explain it to you. But again, do not memorize things because it's too much information for you to memorize. But I understand the infrastructure. Any questions? So in the case you're using ECS or EKS, instead of using Docker Compose, you're gonna have another folder here, and you can call it infra. And then you say under infra, maybe you can have Terraform. Under Terraform, that's where you have AWS, Microsoft Azure, and so on. So does that make sense to everybody? You go back to the README file here, infrastructure. We use Docker Compose YAML. And .git ignore, what is it used for? So don't read, just explain it to me. We've talked about it before.
Not going to display that for access. Let's say anyone who wants to. It's not going to be available for anyone to access because Git will not make it available.
Yeah, so it's when you push your repo to GitHub, everything that you have put on this file will not be pushed to GitHub. That's kind of like bottom line. So it's gonna ignore all of those files that you have here. And then monitoring, this is where we have the app. We get the metrics from the app. So the metrics, when we talk about the metrics, we're talking about memory usage, CPU, okay, all of that. These are, so you have logs, you have metrics, and then you have traces. These are like the golden rules or whatever they call it. So the logs, that's kind of like when you're walking, you leave tracks behind, right? Footprints and so on. So those are kind of like logs. So you leave something behind as a result of whatever you're doing. And then metrics, those are things that you can use to define how much resources you use in terms of like storage, memory, what's coming into like throughput, and so on. But traces, like a trace, like traffic coming in, going out, and all of that. So those are the key things that you have to keep in mind: logs, metrics, and traces. There's a phrase, I can't think of the phrase. I think we'll get to the golden signals here. These are the golden signals. And when you think of the golden signals, think of CPU, memory usage, and you also include latency, and 5. If you can see that here, probably not. So you also have the 5, let me make this a little bit smaller. Oh, this is too small. Okay. So you also have the 5 XX errors. So let me explain this on the board here quick. Every time you talk about monitoring, think of logs, think of metrics, and then you think of traces. So always keep that in mind: logs, metrics, and traces. There are many tools that you can use to do that. So for logs, you're gonna need a tool that will capture logs. Like on AWS, for example, we have CloudWatch. And sometimes CloudTrail can also help. These are just examples. And then the list goes on. But today we're going to talk about Prometheus to help us do that. So Prometheus is one of the tools that can help do that, and one of the most popular tools, actually. A lot of companies, they use that. And like Kubernetes, EKS, Prometheus, it's kind of like ingrained into that technology or that tool. So now of course, you need to capture all of this using monitoring tools. And today we're talking about that, but how do you visualize? And to visualize, this is where we're gonna talk about Grafana. So that's a lot of other companies, they use other different tools. They can use like ELK, the Elastic Log Stash Kibana. Log Stash Kibana Stack. So you can install that as a stack. So it comes with those 3 tools. So Elastic, is it Elastic or what? Not a lot of companies use this now. 3 years ago, it was very popular. ELK stack. So you to ingest the logs, you have the log, the Elastic component. Elastic component, and then to process the logs, you have the log stash component, and then Kibana is to visualize. So it's like 3 things in one. And the list goes on, etc., etc. But today we focus only on Prometheus and Grafana. The thing is, you don't have to know it all. So just knowing the concepts, that's key. Because a company may be using Prometheus for monitoring, capturing the logs, metrics, and so on. But another company may use something different. And And they can still hire you because you understand the concept, because you've built an infrastructure like this one here. Any questions? Okay, we're gonna go back to here. So the app, it's gonna be where the metrics will be coming from. This is the application. And Prometheus, this is what we use to collect data. So we're gonna collect data using these two files here, Prometheus YAML and alert rules. So the Prometheus YAML is the configuration that tells Prometheus to scrape or pull data from your app every few seconds. And this is very, very important. And then the reason it's very important is that when you explain this to the interviewer, they would say that you know your stuff. You don't just say, I have set up, yes, I have used Prometheus. Not say, hey, is it okay if I share my screen? And then when you share your screen, you're gonna tell them what you've done. You're gonna say, okay, this is what I've done. But in your case, I want you to, once you run this on your computer, take screenshots. And that's what we're gonna do next week. Today we're gonna do probably some of it. So you take screenshots, save them, and then add them to this repository. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay? This is how you begin building your portfolio. So they want to see, they want proof that you've done it, like what I did with that company's project, you know? So you have screenshots, they're real, and they show that you've done on this project and you have experience. So the next component of our infrastructure will be alert manager. And that's the messenger. Why? Because it receives the alerts from Prometheus and then it decides what to do with them, where to send them. So here we make sure that we incorporate the deduplication as well as routing. Like if 10 instances of the app fail at once, it sends only one Slack notification. You remember in the beginning we talked about alert noise? So we want to resolve that. And how do you resolve it? I use deduplication. So that instead of sending 10 messages to Slack, I only send one. Because we want to prevent this alert fatigue. The same with alert noise. Alert noise, it's like sending too much information, even the information that you don't need. And then routing, yes, we will use the Slack web hook to push formatted alerts into your team's channel. So instead of getting like a list of errors, like, you know, when you look at the logs, let me see here. Let's see if we can find something here quick. So it makes more sense. Let's go to CloudWatch. You know, CloudWatch, that's a native monitoring and observability tool that AWS provides. You can also use it, but it's cloud dependent. It's locked only into AWS because it belongs only to AWS. You cannot use it on Microsoft Azure. But Prometheus, you can use it everywhere. It's cloud agnostic. So you can use it on any cloud platform. And when you talk about the logs, and unfortunately we don't see any logs here. Let's go back here. Okay, we don't have, let's say, live trail. So we don't have anything here. Let's go to CloudTrail. So like CloudTrail will give you an idea of who's using your account and when and how. So you're gonna do that. CloudTrail, it's a good thing to, a good tool to be familiarized with. So you see this here. This is a JSON file, and let's say on your team, the people that you want to notify about what's going on, they have no idea about JSON file. What does that mean? So because on your engineering team, you may have a stakeholder, and this may be a financial, or it could be like your CEO or CFO or CTO, whatever. Somebody who's an executive director, and they want to know when there's an alert. So you don't want to send them, these guys are not engineers, or this person is not an engineer. You don't want to send them this, something like this. You want to send them what this means. So is that clear to everybody? And to do that, this is where we need to format our alerts. So instead of sending them this thing here, we send them just a 2-line alert message saying, hey, this is what I've observed, and this is what's likely to happen next. And this is what you set up here. So now the third component of our infrastructure is visualization and simulation. And again, Grafana, that's what you use as your window. This is what you use to visualize the behavior of your infrastructure. You're gonna set Grafana to talk to Prometheus. Prometheus is what goes to your application and then ingest or captures the behavior of your application. And then Prometheus will send this where? It's gonna send it to Grafana. And when it gets to Grafana, then Grafana, you're gonna have the ability to create dashboards. Define how you want to visualize the behavior of your application or infrastructure. You will add Prometheus to Grafana using data sources, okay? Because you can use something else like Loki or CloudWatch, and the list goes on. So anything that can capture logs, metrics, traces, or whatever, you can add it to Grafana as a source of your data. Any questions about Grafana? And we're gonna look at that on the GUI after we deploy our infrastructure. The final thing here, like component of our infrastructure, is gonna be script and AIOps service. This is the chaos and control domain. In our scripts directory, we have normal traffic, and then we simulate an incident. Then we have the AIOps service as a different folder. But on the scripts, we will generate a steady stream of healthy requests to create kind of like a baseline on our graphs. So this is the normal, typical behavior of our application. This is how we want to see our application behave. Okay, so that's the normal traffic. And then we will run the shell script to create chaos. So this is like testing your disaster recovery plan. So you create chaos and see what's going to happen next. So what it does, it's gonna inject latency, like slow response times. It's gonna inject that into your system, and this is where you get the 500 level errors. So there are 400 level errors and also 500 level errors. Have you guys heard of that before?
Oh,
All right.
gonna
So
ask.
the 500 level errors, they have to do with your infrastructure, your application. So you have 503, you have 504, and so on. The 400 level errors, they have to do with your user. And in an interview, somebody may ask you a question, a very simple question, like what's the difference between 400 level errors and 500 level errors? And
It is like,
how do you troubleshoot those types of errors?
so is this when it like the 400 errors that you say, is it like when we access an application and we get a 404, would that be like a 400 error?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Or every time you see a 400 level error, like 4xx, that does not have to do with your application. It has to do with the user. So maybe they're using the wrong token. They're using the wrong URL. Maybe they're using the wrong password. So the bottom line, 400 level errors, they have to do with the user. 500 level errors, they have to do with your infrastructure, the infrastructure that you as an engineer has set up. So that's, you have to fix it from your end, meaning it could be it could be anything, that the app maybe is not started, or something is down. Any of these things may be down, like Grafana is down or something is down. So and in that case, you look at the blueprint of your infrastructure. And the blueprint of your infrastructure, that's the Docker Compose YAML in this case. But in other cases, it's gonna be probably Terraform. So you have to go to your scripts and try to debug from there. Any questions? All right. So this is pretty much it. And now
I have
we
a question.
move. Yeah, go ahead.
At the alert messenger where you stated that instead of it sending, if say you have 10 instances of the application, if you have, say, instead of sending 10 alerts, it will send just one. The question I have is, if 10 instances of that application are running and say the errors are different things in N of, let's just say we have two of the errors that are different from the rest for the 10 instances. And the alert messenger is only sending one. How possible is that who using our Grafana to visualize that error? Now that it's only sent one error instead of let's just say two, because you have two instances that have different errors. I'm not sure how, I don't understand that.
Well, you write a script to avoid duplications. So like if it's the same error happening on 10 instances at the same time,
Oh,
so instead of sending to the team an alert from like 10 alerts at the same time, but your system, your infrastructure will look at those errors and they say they look alike. So that then instead of sending 10, I'll just send one.
okay.
So to
Not
avoid
duplicates.
alert noise and fatigue. Yeah. Any other
Thank you.
questions? And again, you use this repository. This is going to be your like another piece of your portfolio that you can showcase when you meet with somebody, when you meet with a company. Don't just talk. You have to show what you've done and what you can do for this company. So that's kind of like where I'm leading you now. Actually, from the very beginning, you have to show me what you have done and what you can do for me and my company. So always keep that in mind. I've changed my way of talking about myself and what I've done. I show things to people. I share my screen. I demo this to people. Like in this case, let's say you're gonna meet with some company, because this what you see here, this infrastructure, this is like phase one. Phase one of what you can implement for a company. This is phase one. So in your docs here, you can add something like life cycle. And I say phase zero, this is what you're looking at. Phase one, you move this entire infrastructure into ECS based infrastructure or EKS based infrastructure. So instead of using the Docker Compose here, you're gonna create these services using Terraform, and then you deploy all of these containers. You remember what we did in the beginning? Guys, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to you have to
Yes.
master the journey. The journey that I've taken you on is, we started with our app. This is our Express web app. See that? So phase one or phase zero, it was locally tested or deployed. You remember that? So this is your core application. This is like Netflix. This is like Facebook. This is like Zoom. This is like my application that I'm building through MLink. This is like anything that you see online. Now we've gone to phase two, phase one. What did we do in phase one?
Used now we push the image of the application to a remote repository in AWS
That's what we did.
using two scripts.
Yeah,
We use the Python
exactly.
script and
We used Python
and the bash shell script.
That's what we did. Phase number 2.
Phase two. Phase two, we now actually we use Terraform as an infrastructure to now create or push the application to the back end using storing it in our S3 bucket, and then of course also locking that as locking the state file using a table in DynamoDB.
Exactly. So that was the
And then
first
we also
component
now,
of our infrastructure. And what was the second one?
the second component, we also use Terraform now to create a cluster in ECS.
So our architect here was Terraform, right?
Terraform, yeah.
So phase 0, what was our architect? Or even myself, it looks like I don't remember.
I remember.
So let's, I'm gonna duplicate that here. So what we did, if you go to your T2S collection, you should find it there. Version 1.
I'm not sure. I know we just started the service using Node index.js and
Yeah.
and that gave us the URL to be able to access the application locally using that
Right.
port 3000.
Right. So we build our app using npm and then Node to
Oh yeah.
start the
Wow.
the
What a long,
service,
what a
or
long
to start the application, and then we were able to access that locally. So phase number 2, we use Python and Bash shell, kind of like our architect, right? So we use
Yeah.
those scripts to architect our infrastructure. Phase number 2, we use Terraform as our architect. And our blueprints were Terraform scripts, right? To deploy the backend, ECR, and ECS. So you see, even the project that I'm showing you today, we're doing it locally. That's kind of like phase 0. So we do it locally. And then you can ship it to, you can go to phase 1 and phase 2. Actually, we don't need phase 1 because phase 1 is part of phase 2, right? So we're gonna use instead of using Python and Bash shell, we're gonna use Terraform to take care of the backend, and then ECR and ECS. So one new component to add to this platform, it's gonna be infrastructure. So exactly what we did in phase number 2, or our version number 3 of the Express web app, that's what you do here. So does that make sense to everybody? So you're gonna realize that as we progress, everything will be just repeated. So what you're building is kind of like a golden set of platforms that you can use to resolve any technical need for your client. So this will be like your library. So you just go there, take an infrastructure and say, okay, I'm gonna use these scripts. And those scripts, that's what you use even at work. So phase 2, that's ECS. right? And then phase 3 would be EKS. So it's gonna be phase 2 plus EKS. So you just take phase 2 and replace ECS with EKS. That's it. And you're all set. And phase 4, this is where you can add things like GitOps, right? You can add CI, CD. And you can also add DevSecOps. When you know how to do all of the above, you are a 6-figure person. You'll always have a job. You'll always have a job. What I have shown you, this is what you do. You may use different technologies, but this is the process. This is a process, and this is what we do. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we will start here. We're gonna go step by step. No, wrong. So we're gonna go here. So we're gonna go to the hands-on. We're gonna do the setup. Why is it too big? Yeah, we're gonna do the setup here. So we do the setup and operations. So we're gonna try this. And how do you configure your environment? We'll start there. Okay, we're gonna start here. And what I want you to do is I'm gonna make this public for now. So that you all can have access to that. So it's now public, and I'll put it on Slack. What did I do? So I'm gonna go to Slack. I'm gonna put it here. So I don't want you to just watch me do this. I want you to do it together with me. So is that okay for everybody? Okay, so we're gonna do it together. I'll show you how to do it on my computer, and you follow along. Everything is in the on the read file here. So we'll just follow the steps here. Where is it? So you're gonna start here. This is where we start when we come back. We're gonna start here. What did I do? Okay. Any questions? Anybody? If not, I'm gonna see you in 10 minutes.
Find my way. My head is heavy, drowning every day. I hear a whisper through the night, it breaks. A voice that tells me there carry, it starts to fall. Your promise echo, I can have it all. I lift my hands though my strength is gone. The word it holds me, it pulls me along. Through the valleys where my fears collide, your light is shining, I can't run or hide. I hear you say, be still and know the chains are breaking, the pain lets go. From ashes beauty, you raise me new. I walk in freedom, I'll walk with you. I lift my hands though my strength is gone. The word it holds me, it pulls me along. Through the valleys where my fears collide, your light is shining, I can't run or Espíritu Santo, ven aquí en mi corazón, haz tu vivir. No queremos actuar, solo amar. Fruto eterno, hazlo brotar. Crece en nosotros amor sin fin, gozo y paz que vienen de ti, paciencia y bondad, tu dirección, dominio propio, tu perfección. No es mi fuerza, es tu poder, es tu palabra que quiero ser. Un árbol firme junto al río, de tus frutos soy testigo mío. Crece en nosotros amor sin fin, gozo y paz que vienen de ti, paciencia y bondad, tu dirección, dominio propio, tu perfección. Muéstranos cómo vivir en verdad, cada paso en humildad. Guíanos, oh Santo Consolador, que todo sea para tu honor. Crece en nosotros amor sin fin, gozo y paz que vienen de ti, Through the storms I find my peace. A whispered prayer, my soul's release. Hope is here, it won't let go. It's the light through shadows, whoa. Hope no matter what we face, it's the anchor in this place. With each breath I'll hold on tight through the darkest endless night. The Lord is good, His love is near. He lifts my head, dries every tear. On eagle's wings I rise again. Strength renewed time and again. Hope no matter what we face, it's the anchor in this place. With each breath I'll hold on tight through the darkest endless night. I'll rejoice, I'll stand my ground. In His promise, joy is found. Let my faith shine ever bright. Through the trials, through the fight. Hope no matter what we face, it's the anchor in this place. With each breath I'll hold on tight through the darkest endless night.
You part the seas, you calm the waves. You light the dark and heal the pain. Mountains bow and giants fall. You are the God who does it all. Nothing's too hard for the God who saves, breaking chains and empty graves. You move the earth with a single call. You are the God of the impossible. You breathe life where hope has died. You mend hearts that break inside. No storm too fierce, no night too long. You are the strength when we're not strong. Nothing's too hard for the God who saves, breaking chains and empty graves. You move the earth with a single call.
Is everybody back? I see Edmund is back. All right, here's what we want to do. Let's see. You know what? Can I just have somebody drive this? And we'll drive this and show you how you can screenshot and push this to GitHub. So it's gonna be like a demo on how you can build your portfolio. Who's gonna volunteer for that?
I can volunteer.
Oh, perfect. And you sound excited. All right, let me allow you to share your screen here. You should be able to share your screen.
Do you want me to share my terminal?
Yeah, you're gonna share your screen and so what the plan is, you're gonna have to git clone what I shared on Slack.
Yeah, that's already there.
And you don't need to rename it. We'll just keep it as is. We go first to GitHub, create. We'll create a repository on GitHub, and with the same name, push this. Or you can also fork this on your GitHub if you want to.
Yeah, that's already done.
Okay, so let's now git clone it. Yeah, I see it. I see it there. So we save it as is. Go share your screen on
GitHub?
over the internet. Yeah, I want to see how you create it, because that's also helping somebody else on the team here.
Okay. I got those two screens for you.
So go to create repository. I want to create a new repository here, and I will correct the resolve that the other one, the T2S collection. I'm gonna
Okay. What do we name it?
create a repo. Just copy the name as it is on your command line. Just copy it and paste it there.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be AIOps to Grafana. You don't need GitHub. You don't need git.git. So it's gonna be up to Grafana. Just paste it there. And then create repository. And now back to the command line. Command line, can you do control plus so that you make your font sizes a little bit bigger?
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
And now go into the repository. And then you're gonna use the, so do git init and then git add space dot. So run that first and then git add space dot, because we just wanna stage everything. And then I'll copy on your left, you copy from git commit down to git push, and then paste it on the command line. Copy that and then paste it on the command line. Paste. Refresh the screen on, refresh the page on your left from the top there. Yeah. So it didn't go through. So they're saying git remote origin already exists. So get out of that line, the command, Control C. Control C, do git remote space -v, git remote space -v, and see what remote we have there. Origin, so we have so the remote has been added. So try git commit -m first commit in double quotation marks. Okay, I'm gonna post a command here, on Slack. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to Slack here. So this is the first command that you tried. Then you're gonna try this one here. You're gonna try the second one, git remote rm origin. Try the second one. Just put it on Slack. Try the second one. And now recall the -v, the remote git remote -v command to just verify that it's gone. Okay, that's perfect. So now to your left, go to use the git remote add origin, copy the whole line there, and then paste it on your command line. So git remote add origin. So copy that line, the entire line.
Okay.
And then run that command on the command line. Okay, recall the git remote -v to see if it's there. All right, perfect. So now do the git push. Do git push origin, and then space. Yeah, git push origin, just the origin, and then you're gonna do main space -- force. Yeah, run it and see what happens. Okay, failed to push some refs to refresh the screen on the left and the page and see if something was pushed there. Not yet. So push cannot contain secrets. I think you're using SSH to connect to your GitHub. I think that's the reason why. There's Prometheus secret scanning. So copy this message and send it to me.
Okay. Like the error message?
Yeah, the whole output.
Okay.
So copy the whole output, put it on Slack.
Okay.
So resolving deltas, repository rule violation found, data protection, because I've protected some of my branches are protected. I think that may be the reason. So put it on Slack here. I see it. Let me see here. So when you troubleshoot, when somebody experience an error, you ask them what commands what they used to before even getting to that error. So make sure that you communicate that. It's very important so that you get the context of where they're coming from, and then you see how you can also recreate that situation to resolve it.
I think he left out the command.
What's that?
I think he didn't copy the command that displayed the output.
Yeah, he did not. Yeah, usually copy start from the command. But that's fine. You don't need to put it on Slack now. I think it should be okay. Yeah, there's a Slack incoming webhook, so that's why we have that reason. So we're gonna remove the secret from history, and then so run this command. I'm gonna send you a set of commands that you can run. So the first one would be, and this may apply to all of you, since you'll be using this. So run this command and see if it's going to help. And the other command would be this one here. Or just copy and paste it. You don't have to type it in, because when you type it in, you're prone to making human errors.
Okay.
So copying and pasting, that's a way to automate processes and avoid errors. Because humans, you don't, I mean, all of us, we don't have to trust our human brain. So that's why we have tools to rely on. Systems, they don't fail. Okay, so what happens here? Export, blah, blah. So that's the reason why we had an issue. Run the other command that I sent you, the git filter dash repo, and see. I think you may probably have it or not, maybe. First, you may need to install it. You're gonna need to install it. But I didn't see any complaint from what we just did. So try to recall the git. Let's do git add first. Git add. We stage everything and then we commit and then push. See what happens. Then git commit. You can just recall the command. It's good practice. You just recall the commands that you've used before. It's gonna save you time instead of typing the commands in.
Need dash M. Plus commit.
There you go. Just run it. So nothing to commit, and then go to commit a git push, because we have already added the. Yeah, try that.
Yeah, that's why I threw the error.
Resolve the following violation before pushing again. So is somebody else doing the same thing here? To push, remove secret from commit and follow this URL. So that's we just need to remove that. So I didn't include any secrets here. So hold on, I'll just add a .git ignore to avoid this issue here. So try to go to nano space .git ignore. It's gonna be nano. Okay, just run it. So we're gonna just ignore that. You see the issue here? Because Git has found like we have a secret. So that's why it's saying, oh, you need to remove it. You cannot push it because that's not the best practice. So here's what I want you to do. So delete that file. Delete that file. And you're gonna paste this information here. You copy this file, this entire file. You're gonna copy it as it is. So that's something that I should have done, but I'm gonna do it now. I'll do the same too. I'm gonna add it to the GitHub here account, to the repository. Yeah, I forgot to add that. It's my bad.
Where do I paste it?
So you just delete everything. Go use the arrow, the upper arrow. Go to the top Yeah, do Control K until you delete every line. So Control K will delete a line on when using Nano. So Control K, and then keep pressing it, Control K until you delete everything there.
Looks like it's not
So you
doing
have to
anything.
click on your file, click anywhere on the file, and then do Control K. So responding,
Nope.
that's probably your computer. It should have responded. You see the to cut at the bottom there. It's no, it's gonna be, yeah. Do Control K. You should be able to do it.
Control plus K was pressed, waiting for second key.
You can close maybe restart the terminal. The terminal is probably frozen.
Where is it?
So if you do Control K, you should be able to do it.
Try see if you're in
Yeah, just
insert mode.
terminate it. Just click terminate. Open a new terminal. And do Nano. Are you in the? You need to go to the appropriate folder there, and nano.gitignore. Because this is for Git, but you can also have Docker ignore. You can also have different ignore files. So Control K, you should be able to delete line after line. Not responding.
No, it says Control K was pressed, now waiting for second key.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so just X out of this. Control X, get out. All right, just delete the .git ignore. You want to create a new one. Just RM and delete it. And now create a new one, Nano. And I wonder, because you're using PowerShell, maybe PowerShell is,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah, I was just about to say he should use
Just
bash.
yeah, Bash, it's the way to go. Nano will probably have the same issue because Windows may not communicate well with Nano. Can you go to Git Bash? You see where there's the plus sign there on top right, top right?
Yeah.
No, the down
Click the
arrow.
arrow.
Next to the arrow. Yeah, select Git Bash. It's gonna save you from a lot of headaches.
Okay.
So now you need to go to the project directory. You have to find the correct path. You can go to the PowerShell terminal and find the path. So that's where you need to go. Just copy the C at the end of the line. So you cd into that.
It's not gonna find it.
Yeah, and again, because you're gonna need to use the entire. So if you ls to see what you have in there, just ls and see where you saved where did you save where is your users directory? Because you're gonna need to go to your users, then find Villeneuve 30A, and so on. Where are the users here? Where's the directory? I think you're gonna use / instead of backward because we're using Git. We're using like a Linux shell here. So go back, recall that command, the user, but use a / and see. You see the C column. Use / instead of backward because backward / that's for Windows in most cases. Let's try that and see. And that should work. And do the same with the last one there. And run the command. Yeah. So ls to make sure that you're where you should be. Perfect. So now you can nano your git ignore. And it should work. Nano should work now. It's gonna be .git ignore. You can paste the content that I posted on Slack. And then remove the go up, remove that final line there. No, the line at the bottom. You don't need that, and you don't need the 135. Okay. So go use the uppercase, the upper arrow to go up. So go to 1, Control K. You should delete that line.
It says
Control K, still not working.
Says it's pressed and then waiting for the second.
Just gonna be Control K. It should work.
Okay.
Not responding.
Not responding. Just say waiting for second key.
How about typing 5?
Pardon?
Just type 5 after when it asks for that second key. Let's see.
Nope. Doesn't respond.
All right, so do Control X.
Sorry.
Do it's working now. So say no. Press Shift N, and you. So now use Vim to create the file.
That's .git ignore.
Yeah, the same file.
Yeah, I noticed when I try to use the Nano in my Windows, it doesn't work. A lot of things will not work, but each time I use the Vim, I don't get into those issues.
Yeah. So click on the top there. You're gonna do I to insert, and then paste, stuff there. So now go to the bottom there. We're gonna remove the 1 column 35. So you're gonna use a cursor, yeah, and then that's going to be DD. Do escape first and then DD to delete that line. Did you, okay, do the same, yeah. So now escape again, shift column, WQ exclamation mark. So escape, shift column, type in WQ to write and quit. And no, exclamation mark would be at the end. So it's gonna be W to write whatever content you have there on this file, Q to quit, and then exclamation point to close to X out. Enter. Okay, so now we're gonna try the same process that we did. So you're gonna do git add dot, and then we do the commit. So you run the command, do commit, and the message. You're gonna do first the -m. And then git push. Push origin. That's just do push origin, and then that's it. Run it, and it should work to push the current. So copy the git push setup stream origin main. Copy that. And then paste it. You see git push setup stream origin main. See there? Copy that line. And then paste it and run it. We're getting still the same thing? Okay, hold on. Push cannot contain secrets. Oh, this is the first one. It's the same error. Is somebody else having the same error? I'm not having this error. I've pushed this thing like a few times. Give me a moment here. Let me see how we can resolve this. Try to cat the dot git ignore and see if it's already saved, because Git should have ignored the secret. I don't know why it's not taking it. Okay, scroll up. Let's go to the Slack section. Yeah, it's there. Why is it not taking it? Okay, hold on. Remove this project, entire project. I'm gonna give you a new one here.
Okay.
So try to use this one. Use this project. So we're gonna use this one instead. So git clone this one, the one that I've sent you. It's the same repository, but so it comes with all of the files to ignore. So if it doesn't work, then we gonna stop here, or yeah, we're gonna stop here so that we do this together next week. So remove did you remove that one? Yeah, you're gonna do -rf before AIOps, before the name of the project.
In this one, when
First,
I
you wanna
choose
go
it,
a step up
step up.
because you're still in that folder that you want to delete. So now you can remove it. Just click on the second one there, yeah. Then run the command. And then we're gonna no such directory. Yeah, we're gonna do the -rf. Recall the command and go to R there, put a dash there. Yeah, now it should work. Just run it. So now git clone what I sent you. It has the git ignore, the updated file or updated version. Getting it, yeah. Are you in the folder?
Okay.
Need to go into the folder first, the AIOps. Yeah, now you can initialize, stage, and commit, and push.
This point is up to date. Nothing to commit.
Try git remote -v and see if we have the origin is there. I think it should be there. Okay, so now try to push it. Push -u origin main and see. and see if it works.
Mission to night.
All right, so you're using, okay, unable to access. So you see the 403. That's what type of error are we dealing with here?
That's user.
Yeah, it's a
400
user
error.
related error. So it's not GitHub, it's you. So we need to fix this. So enable. So what you do, you could remove these origins because they have to be on your account, not because you're pushing these to my account. You see the here to serve you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to push them to your account. So do the git remote. You remember we did RM origin.
RM. Yep.
Yeah, recall that command. Git. I think I put it on Slack, right? Or no? Yeah, I put it on Slack. So you're gonna redo these commands I just posted. I've just posted on Slack. So first you do git remote. No, just go ahead and do git remote rm origin.
Okay.
Git remote rm origin. Yeah, just run it. And then we're gonna add you see the git remote add origin. That would be your account.
Okay.
Because you're trying to push it to my account and you don't have permissions to do that. And now try to do the git push again.
Back to secret.
Yeah, we're getting the same issue here. Slack incoming webhook URL. How do you? All right, so let's see. Let me see if I can give you something here. I think I had, hold on. Okay, we still have a minute or so. So I want you to add a file. I'm gonna give it to you. So it's gonna be a new file. We're gonna do it's gonna be the .env example file. Now I'm gonna commit that. So on create a new file and name it .env example. Then paste this content to the file, and the content would be this. Okay, just do what I just sent on, put on Slack. It's gonna be .env .example, and we'll talk about this file, why we need this file, when we meet on Saturday next week, and finish up this project next week. And then, you could have just even echo what I sent you, yeah. Or you could run this command echo just here. to env example. That's the file, right? Yeah. Just copy the command I put on Slack. And this should resolve it, I think. And then once you're done, I want you to copy these commands here. I'm gonna share those commands here. Just give me a moment. Yeah, just git add, just copy paste them. It's gonna save a little bit of time.
All of them at once?
Yeah, you can do all of them at once, that's fine. Yeah, try to run the git push set upstream origin main and see. Just copy and paste it there. You know, the command git push -- set upstream, just copy paste it there from the output error message. Oh my goodness, why do you have this? I don't have that error. Huh. So anybody else working on this on a Windows system?
Yeah, maybe we can try with another system.
I'm getting the same error.
You're getting the same error? Anybody on Mac? Nikki, are you getting the same error or are you okay?
And no, I'm not even. I'm lost actually. So
Okay.
I'm lost.
Yeah, okay. So let's stop here. And I don't understand why. To push remove secret from commit or follow this URL.
Keep trying. If I find something, I will share with the Windows users.
All right, so let's work on that. Let's pause here, and then we'll get back next week on Saturday. So we're gonna finish this. We're gonna resolve this. It's not a big deal. I'll find it. Why? Yeah, we're gonna, and I want you guys to also work on that. This is part of troubleshooting. They will give you a computer, or there may be a developer on your team that may come across an error like this one. So how do you resolve it? And work on that and share in the group. I don't want to share this on WhatsApp. You can, anything that is related to your local machine or virtual machine, share it in Slack. Okay? WhatsApp, it's only just communication. Like when can we meet? When can we get together and stuff like that. All right, any questions from anybody? And thanks, brother, for driving the session today.
You're welcome.
So just keep working on this, resolve this, and share with the rest of the team. And this applies to anybody, everybody else on the team. All right, so next week, we're going to finish on this. And And then we'll probably work on either CI/CD or EKS. And I don't think I have anything else, but just say enjoy the rest of the weekend. God bless. Find somebody that you can help. Be good and do good. God bless you. I'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.